I'm talking about El Diamante himself, the man, Dustin Poirier. There he is, Dustin, at the airport. What's up, Dustin?
What's up, bro?
Where are you
What's up,
right
man?
now?
At the airport, Lafayette Airport.
Where are you going?
Coming back to Staten Island right now. I'm coming back to New York.
You are? Why don't you come visit us in studio?
You got a show tomorrow?
No, I don't. What are you doing in New York?
Yeah.
You're coming to go back to the scene of the crime on Saturday?
No, man. I wiped my fingerprints and bounced out of there as fast as I could.
What's?
I'm coming. I'm coming to Teddy Atlas is having a dinner. He has a foundation and a big charity dinner. So me and my wife and a couple of board members from the Good Fight Foundation are coming up.
I was supposed to be there myself. I've gone the last 3 years. It's an incredible time.
I know. He invited me the last few times, but it was just like a fight. It was always something. So I finally can make it. It sucks. It's this close. I just got back home, but
right.
It's all good.
All right. Well, thank you for doing. Are you rushed for time? I just want to know. Do you have a flight to catch? I didn't know you'd be joining us.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
good.
All right. Well, thanks for doing this from the airport, man. It's incredible. I thought it was one of those fake Zoom backgrounds or something because it looks so still back there. What a fight, man! I had an epiphany during your fight. I was watching your fight, and especially in the first round when you were getting rocked, and I was watching it, and
dude, none of them shots really hit me clean. I was rocked from a headbutt bad, man. That's what started the whole barrage of him trying to finish me against the fence. The headbutt was the biggest shot I took that night.
Really?
Yeah, big time.
Did you think the headbutt was intentional?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
He kind of went down like faked the shot. I kind of down blocked and started to sprawl, and as he was coming back up, and man, it was a good shot.
So headbutt or not, how rocked were you though?
I was really hurt. That's why immediately I went back to the fence in the first round to kind of use it as a crutch. And obviously he started going crazy trying to finish me. I would have done the same thing to him. He probably didn't even know the headbutt. I got the worst of it for sure. It hit me like under my jaw.
Were you worried?
Yeah.
And how were you able to? How long did it take for you to regroup?
I mean, that whole exchange, when he was trying to finish me against the fence the first time, luckily I was able to roll and kind of bob and weave with the punches and nothing landed flush. But I was, I was worried.
The fact that you hadn't fought in 11 months, did that come into play at all? Like, did you feel a little rusty early on?
No, it's the opposite for me, man. When I take these long breaks, like before the Hooker fight, even the Max fight in Atlanta, when I have those long breaks, I want to fight. It's a good feeling. Really?
Why? Because you feel refreshed?
Because when I'm in the locker room, like I can't wait to get in there and the bell to ring. I can't wait to fight. All fight week, I just kept thinking that to myself. I can't wait to do this.
Speaking
and not that it's not that, but sometimes like it's more of a I can't wait to get this over with, rather than I can't wait to get into it. You know what I mean?
Your relationship with him, did that come into play at all? Meaning you can't wait to get in there because like this one, I don't know if personal is the right word, but
no, perform. Anybody could have been standing across.
Okay.
I can't wait to perform.
How would you describe your quote unquote relationship with him? Like it just felt like there was like you know how I described it? Like there was just like some professional friction there. It's not like you guys despise each other, but there was definitely some tension between you. How would you describe it?
It's a fight. Of course there's going to be tension, Of course there's going to be tension. We're going to try to hurt each other. That's what I was saying all week.
But in this case, I mean, you could fight anyone. Like he's not your best bud. There was just something there that you guys weren't. And you know what's funny about it? Like I actually feel like you guys are actually quite similar. Like you're both family guys. You both really care about your family. You're both good people. You help your communities. And I felt like there's maybe it's like some similarities there, which for whatever reason makes you two not on the same page, if you know what I mean.
Maybe so. I just thought, I mean, the turbulence from my side was just, I thought, I think he's a fake guy,
So you don't really co-sign on the things I just said. You're like, shut up, Ariel.
But again, I don't know. That's just my perspective. That's just what I think.
Right.
It might not be the truth. I don't know. I don't know the guy personally.
So I
know you're a good guy.
Well, I appreciate that, Dustin. What I was going to say at the beginning before, I said rocked and that annoyed you a little bit was I was watching that and I was like, man, you know what? I really love Dustin Poirier. I mean, I feel like we've seen you grow up in front of our eyes. You've evolved. And like when you were biting down on your mouthpiece and just in the pocket there, I was like, this freaking guy, man. Like the stuff that you have given us, the amount of legendary nights, great fights, like you are a true legend of this game. And I wonder if you view yourself as such. Like, are you allowed to look at yourself in that way, or are you still kind of in the midst of it all where you don't really view, like you fight, it's a big deal. Like you have reached that superstar status in my opinion. When I was watching you, maybe because it had been so long and this past year was such a roller coaster in terms of you're going to fight this guy, you're not going to fight this. It felt special to me. Like, oh, Dustin's on the card. This is special. Do you view yourself like that? Are you allowing yourself to view yourself like that?
I mean, it's kind of hard to I don't allow myself. You know, I know I've done some awesome stuff, and when I fight, crazy things happen every time. Me and Mike Brown talk about it all the time. You know, like it's something crazy is going to happen every time I get in there. But like I can't look at it like that. I'm thankful for it. What I do notice it is more so with my peers, man. Like when I run into fighters who I look up to or that I'm a fan of, and they come up to me and shake my hand, and they're like, "Hey, man, you're a warrior." You know that kind of stuff. Being a fighter's fighter, when I run into those guys and they show me appreciation, that's kind of the moments I feel that.
Yeah, getting that respect from the ones that you respect.
Exactly, and I really appreciate it, man, because this is a tough thing we do, and I'm a fan of these guys, and they come up to me and say, "Man, you're inspiring," or "Man, you're a warrior." You know, that's what I want.
Speaking of which, before the fight, you met Mike Tyson in the locker room. What is it like to have a moment with
Iron Mike?
Yeah.
The real Iron Mike.
That's right. What's it like to have a moment with Mike Tyson before you're actually about to go fight another human being? I can't imagine many more inspiring things.
It was awesome, you know, because he signed Chuck Zito is friends with Tyson. He got me a signed glove, you know, a couple of years ago, and I never got to meet him in person. So to shake his hand and see him in the flesh, you know, I've been watching the guy for so long, and throughout my fighting career, I've always appreciated Mike Tyson's ability to put into words the feelings fighters have and just how crazy the chaos is. You know, he speaks very elegantly about everything. You know, if you watch his documentary, it's really awesome to see him speak. So I've been a fan of his for so long. To shake his hand and to talk to him was something special to me. And then, dude, I had the Marvin Hagler hat on. Take a picture of Tyson with the Hagler hat. This just freaking crazy, man.
Okay, I want to ask you about the hat in a second. I was just about to ask you about, but just curious, did Tyson give you any advice before you walked out?
No.
It was just like a very quick hello, meet and greet type of thing?
Yeah, I think he was actually in there to come talk to Glover or somebody, and they happened to be in my locker room. So when he walked in, I was like, oh, shit, man, I got to get a picture with this guy.
That's incredible that you're asking him for a picture. You're about to fight in front of a sold-out MSG crowd. So I saw the post-fight press conference first, and you're sitting there with a hat with tape on it. And I was like, oh, look at Dustin. This is cool fashion. Like he's got a hat with black tape on it. I thought that was the hat. Then I go back and I saw you did the media rounds, and I see the red war hat, the Marvin Hagler hat. I was like, this is the coolest shit ever. So first of all, can you explain how you got that hat and why you were wearing that hat?
Actually, the guy who gave me that hat. So this goes back to my previous training camp when I was getting ready for Charles. A buddy of mine from Florida, Roman Feraldo, he's actually a Bellator fighter. He's fighting this Friday. And he had the hat on. He was in the gym sparring and stuff. He had the hat on. I complimented. I was like, bro, I'm a huge boxing fan, obviously. The Hagler hat's amazing. Where'd you get it? He goes, I'll get you one. That was last training camp. So at the beginning of this training camp, after sparring and stuff, he came up to me and he just had it in his bag. And he said, I got you one. I told you I'd get it for you. And I was like, bro, I'm bringing this to fight week. I'm wearing this on fight night. This is it.
Incredible. Now, why did they make you cover it up?
I don't know. Maybe they thought it was like a company. Maybe, obviously, they're not boxing fans.
Yeah. Did that annoy you?
A little bit, but it's all good.
It's iconic. It's just.
Yeah, but like the people working behind the scenes, you know, it has to be Venom or unbranded.
Right.
And they might have thought the war was actually a company, not just, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but they maybe put a piece of tape on.
Have you rewatched the fight?
Yeah.
First round, I thought, you know, DC and company, they were praising him for this. I actually thought who am I? But in retrospect, I thought when he had you, quote unquote, rock, he went for the takedown. I actually thought that helped you out. I thought that was a mistake on his part to go for the takedown. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it let me recover.
Yeah. Were you surprised he did that? Were you like, oh shit, this is great?
No, I didn't want to be taken down, but looking back on it, hindsight, maybe it's a good thing he did. But that's just instincts too. He was probably in the fire. He was in a firefight, adrenaline pounding, and he's a hell of a wrestler. And you go back to instincts.
Were you surprised he used his wrestling as much as he did, even if it wasn't a ton? But there were two key moments where he did, especially in the third round, which ended up, leading to you finishing him. But we haven't seen him use his wrestling a lot these days, especially in the UFC.
I thought him speaking fight week, saying, I'm not here for another fight of the night fight. I thought he was going to wrestle more than he did, actually.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. Now, there's the two key moments that people have talked about a lot. And just for the record, I want to just make clear. Do you think he blew his nose on you on purpose?
Dude, I don't care what the fuck the guy says in interviews or the guy he's trying to portray. He 100% did. He 100% did.
Did you say anything to him in that moment when it happened?
Yeah. When I was elbow, I was calling him a nasty motherfucker. That's what I kept telling him. I can hear him blow his nose. He did it hard. Let me tell you this. If you go back and watch the replay of the blood falling out of his nose, yeah, it was leaking. It might be broken, whatever. But when he got it lined up where he wanted it, those huge globs that come out, that didn't fall out. He forced them out. And it's fighting. It's war. Just like the hat said, it's war. I've done it to guys before. I did it to Joe Duffy in Vegas when he shattered my nose. I was trying to bleed on his eyes and throw elbows. It's just fighting, but don't lie about it.
Okay. And then the other one is the fish hook. Do you feel like he did that on purpose?
Yeah.
And what does that feel like?
I mean, it doesn't hurt, but the leverage you get on that grip, he had his fingers like on my top teeth where my mouth guard is. So he kind of tried to get my neck up to lock in the choke. It's a lot of that. The leverage you get from gripping that is hard for me to keep my chin down,
Has that ever happened to you before in a fight?
No.
Wow.
No, but I bit the shit out of his fingers.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I had my mouth guard in, so only my bottom teeth could get him,
That's right. Do you think it worked?
No, he didn't even try to pull it out when I bit.
Wow. How long was it in there for? Would you?
Dude, what's I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but like in the moment when I was biting down on his fingers, I kind of like stopped biting, like, oh shit, what am I doing? Like, it kind of reality hit me. I'm like, well,
what the?
I'm glad I bit him, but like, what? It was just like an instinct.
Well, in the moment when he's on top and the blood is pouring on your face, I mean, is that like the grossest moment of your MMA career? I don't know if there could be anything grosser than that. Like, there's a guy's blood it was like a faucet on you.
Yeah, no, I love that stuff, man.
You love that? You were happy in that moment.
Yeah, like talking about fighting, like when I say I don't love this no more and stuff like that. That's a lot of the outside stuff.
Yeah.
That I'm speaking on. That stuff is why I still fight, because I love that. I love that uncomfortable. It's just a crazy place to be in.
What is it about it? Like, can I understand why you would love that?
It's just so real. Nothing in the whole world stops. Nothing else matters but this moment. And I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable, but I love that uncomfortable. A lot of these fights, man, I might need, not even be better athlete, better technician, but I'm just okay with being uncomfortable, and I out uncomfortable these guys, every fight is uncomfortable, but I know it is for them as well. And I like that. It's a weird thing to try to put into words, but that's what I still love that about fighting. That's what keeps me in love with this still.
Do you think you were always like that, or is that something you developed over time?
I think I was always like that, maybe settled into it over the years, but I was always like that.
Wow. And then, by the way, when you go to the back, like when you take a shower, is there blood like in your ear all over the place? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I was still cleaning blood out of my ears yesterday.
Come on.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yesterday? Yeah. That was Tuesday.
Yesterday.
Oh my God. And you like that?
I mean, that's kind of gross. No.
What were your shorts like? And did you keep the shorts?
My hand wraps were completely drenched. They stink now because it's been a couple of days. But shorts actually weren't that bad. Didn't have a whole lot of blood on them. I keep the stuff because I'm going to auction it off.
Right. All right. So, what was the cause for this particular fight? For every fight usually have a cause for the Good Fight Foundation. What was this one going to?
We kind of did a dual goal with this one. We're going to do 500 meals, family pickup, first come, first serve, 500 full meals. So a ham, bread, greens, and a big pan to bake it all in for families in Lafayette who need it. And we're also going to do Christmas presents for kids at a women and children's shelter here in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Wow. Okay. And so you'll be auctioning that stuff, and all that. The proceeds will go to those charities.
Yes, sir.
That is incredible. So you get the win over him. And by the way, just curious about the finish there. Can you explain, like, as an expert, he takes you down and looks like it's going to be this emphatic slam, but you're able to maneuver it to a point where now you're in the dominant position.
Yeah, I kind of had an angle on him before he picked me up. I was trying to kind of, butt drag him and get around to his back before he lifted. But dude, I got to say, the position he lifted me in, he's so strong. Like his legs, back, and ass is so strong to lift another man in that position. High crotch lifts are pretty easy because it's more of a balance thing. But when you're squatted down, he was almost doing a split and lifted me from that position. He's got some serious, power.
Wow. And so how were you able to use that to your advantage, though?
I kind of landed a little bit on my hip and trying to get an angle, but then he swung around to my back. And I mean, just doing this for so long, grappling, I knew that leg was coming. So I kind of had my hand waiting for his leg to try to put the hook in. And as soon as it touched me, I whipped it off and he kind of fell off.
Incredible. I love that moment that was caught on camera of you telling him that you were afraid to fight him, but like a healthy afraid. And I'm wondering why you said that to him in the moment, because clearly, like, you called him a dirty MFer and you weren't happy with some of the stuff, but why give
They didn't catch the other stuff before. That was like the second time we spoke right after the fight.
Oh,
we spoke immediately after. And dude, he's just such a freaking fake dude.
what did you say the first time that we didn't catch?
I walked into him and said, hey, respect. I think I might have, it's kind of blurry in the moment. But a couple of things I know for sure. I said, I said, you're a nasty motherfucker. I told him that. But I said, this is my house. I said, I respect everything you've done, but this is my house that I built, And then he looks at me, he goes, such a freaking dweeb. He looks at me, right when I say this is my house, he goes, what, Madison Square Garden's your house? Madison Square Garden's your house? He goes, what? Then he points down on the mat. He goes, this logo on the mat, this is your house? And I'm like, I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, all right, bud. Okay, bud.
Okay, and that's the first exchange. But then in the second exchange, we see you give him, I mean, a pretty huge compliment, right? I mean, as a fighter to say that.
Before I told him those other things, though, I told him, hey, respect you.
Okay.
But this is war. This is my house, and I built this, and been doing this a long time in this organization, and yeah. But the second time, it was just something I wanted to get off my chest, let him know. But I told him that earlier in the week. We did an interview with Megan O'Leary, and I told him, that this fight got me up.
Was there a part of you that didn't want this fight because of those feelings?
No, I want those. I want those because those are going to be the fun fights, the crazy fights, and potential fight of the year type of fights. But those are also the fights that give me those butterflies in my stomach every day, or when the contract comes through and I see his name across from it. I've been watching the guy a long time in Bellator and watched. I know some guys he beat, and just very explosive, and that danger. It's always the unknown, no matter how prepared you are, Ariel. But when you go out there and you got a guy of that caliber who can finish the fight in a second and hit you with shots, cover distance, just a lot of things he does, very, very dangerous.
Your last few fights have all been gigantic, Conor, Khabib, Charles. So I would imagine you have this feeling before all your fights now, right? This is not a new thing.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of, when you got a violent guy who throws front kicks and flying knees and overhands that sleep people, one punch knockout power. When you have guys like that, it's a different kind of, a different kind of feeling. Of course I had that with Khabib, but it was a different kind, I don't want to get taken down. That's
right.
A different kind of feeling rather than I'm gonna stand in front of a freight train.
Did you see his post-fight press conference, and did it bother you that, he didn't own up to those things that you were talking about?
Yeah, I saw some clips. Just be honest, man. Just, it's whatever. And I'm sure he didn't plan on doing it, but in the heat of the moment, you're fighting for your life, bro. Whatever just like when I bit him, I didn't plan on biting him. I was like, oh shit, I'm freaking really biting this guy.
Right.
but it's war and it's fighting and things happen in there. But admit it.
Fighting at MSG for someone that loves boxing, loves combat sports, is somewhat like a historian. What was that like for you?
Incredible, man. Like when getting in the elevator, walking through, going into the locker room, then Mike Tyson walks in. It was just a really special night for me. Yeah, it was just a really special night for me, dude. So thankful. Gonna tell my daughter, tell my grandkids one day, tell anybody who will listen that I fought at a sold out Madison Square Garden and had a crazy fight. I'm prideful of that stuff.
By the way, we saw Frankie bring his daughter to the fight as kids, and it was very hard to watch. It was very hard to watch, period. But knowing that his children were there, knowing how close you are with your daughter, do you think you'll ever bring her to one of your fights?
She came to the Oliveira fight. That's the only fight she's ever been to.
Oh wow! And
but she there's like a I wouldn't say a daycare. There was like a thing set up where she was in a back room because that's just such crazy energy, especially at her age. Frankie's kid is a little bit older, but especially at her age, I don't want her to go through those emotions and you never know what's going to happen out there either. I don't want her to be front row if something bad happens. And but that was the only fight she's been to.
Do you think you'll bring her when she's older?
Maybe so. We'll see. I actually have a crazy story about the Oliveira fight and my daughter. My wife was dropping my daughter off with the sitter in the back room at the venue, and my daughter was crying. My wife's like, "What's wrong, baby? What's wrong?" She goes, "I'm sad because Dad's gonna lose tonight."
What?
She told that to my wife. Yeah, she told that to my wife like hour before the fight, 30 minutes before the fight.
Wow. Why do you think crazy. She said that?
I don't know. But she was right. But I don't know.
Do you think it was because she saw Charles and was worried for you, or she had this? Did you?
I don't think she doesn't look into it that far. Maybe she just had some feeling. I don't know. I don't know. But it's crazy that happened.
When did your wife tell you that? Like how? I'm sure she
after the fight.
Yeah, after the fight. But like the night of?
Yeah, of course. Jay, did you tell me that the night of or the next night? Yeah, no. She said when we got back home.
Yeah, and did you ask your daughter about it?
No.
Oh man, that's kind of heartbreaking. I'm happy you didn't find out about it before the fight. That would be, kind of.
Yeah. Me too.
Well, I didn't know they had a daycare in the back at the UFC events. Who knew?
Well, they have like a sitter and some to help with kids and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. So what is this? Someone in at the beginning of the show asked me, what does this win get Dustin Poirier? Like, where does this put him? Is there a chance you're fighting next for the belt? What do you think? Now you've had a couple of days to process it. It's a gigantic win, and you're not that far away. And all of a sudden, Charles losing opens everything up for you. Where do you think this puts you right now?
Dude, I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know what's going to happen next.
What do you want?
I'm going to enjoy the holidays. I don't even know when I want to fight again. I might not fight till summer, honestly, because my daughter's in school and I don't want to leave her again. This last camp was a little bit different because she's in first grade. So I did 2 weeks in Florida by myself. My wife and daughter came for a month, and then I finished out camp the last 2 weeks by myself. And we had to get a tutor. We had to speak to her school so she wasn't like absent, get her on the same curriculum. It was just a lot of, and I don't want to move my daughter around like that while she's in the middle of a school season. So we'll see. I don't know.
Would you ever?
I haven't been contacted by the UFC yet about potential matchups or anything like that. So I have no clue what's going to happen.
What do you want?
Big fights, fun fights.
What about the winner of Islam and Volkanovski?
If the time, yeah. I mean, I do want to be undisputed world champion. If the time matches up, then for sure.
When you saw Charles lose, were you like, holy shit, there's now a path once again for me to fight for the belt?
Yeah, it opens up doors and makes new matchups and things like that. But I always knew there was a path back to the belt, even if Charles would have had the belt. Dude, I can do anything I put my mind to. I knew I could climb that mountain again. It was just, do I want to go through the killers and do I want to fight 3-4 more times to put myself in position again? I'm taking this like one fight at a time, like not retirement talk, anything like that. But it's just, I've been doing it so long and been so high and so low on it. Just one fight at a time.
Do you want to do that? Do you want to go climb that mountain? Do you have it in you?
Oh, 100% I have it in me.
Okay. How do you feel about Volk getting the title shot?
I mean, good for him. He's going to try to make history. We've seen it done a few times, and we'll see if he can do it.
Do you think he has a chance?
Of course he has a chance.
Is there a part of you that would love to fight Islam just because you can't get the Khabib fight back, but he's the closest thing to Khabib, and maybe you can right that wrong? Do you view it like that, or is that us crazy media guys
Nah,
who think of things like that?
yeah, I don't view it like that at all.
Okay.
I don't want to get even with these guys. I want to get ahead, man.
Right. I love it. And just curious, it looks like the Nate fight is never going to happen. Are you at peace with that?
No, I mean, it's out of my control, so I have to be, but I would love to have fought Nate. I really would have.
I think you got the short end of the stick. I mean, it all worked out, but I didn't like the way that you were being kept on the sidelines. If he resigns, they're going to book you. If not, and in the end, you get nothing.
Yeah. There was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you know a little bit more about, obviously, than the fans and the other media people do. There was a lot of stuff like that going on.
Was that frustrating? Did you ever get to the point where you called them up and you're like, guys, I haven't fought, in 10 months, 9 months, and you're healthy, you're ready to go, right? Not fair to you.
Yeah, people ask me that all fight week, like, why'd you have such a long layoff? And I don't know the answer to that. I was trying to get fights the whole time.
And did you ever get to the point where you felt like you were being sort of iced as well?
I didn't know what was going on. I don't know if it was intentional or maybe they were just trying to set the right matchup not for me, like style wise, but just for the company and the excitement. I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. Is there anyone left that you haven't fought that you would be dying to fight? Like that is sort of like a Nate, but who's available in the UFC? That is someone like sort of like, all right, I would love to climb that mountain. I'd love to check that name. I mean, there's pretty much very few guys left, but I'm wondering if there's someone that we're missing.
I don't know, man. I completed the violence triangle with
Yeah.
finish Gaethje, finish Eddie, finish Chandler.
It's amazing.
But I'm sure. I mean, there's a bunch of fights that would be crazy matchups. I just don't know a name right now.
The one I threw out was Beneil, just because it seems like he's like the number one contender guy in purgatory right now. Like, do you like? I know they were trying to do you and Beneil in October, right? There was some talk of that, but
yeah.
Would you be interested in that one? Does that excite you?
Not really, honestly. No disrespect to Beneil, a great fighter, and did it the right way. He's a very respectful guy, hard worker, goes in there and handles business, dude. And I respect that. And I'll watch when he fights, but that's not, when we just talked about the other names that I've fought recently, that one's not like super exciting when I think about it.
I feel like, regardless of what you may say, like you like the tension. I think you like a little bit of that tension, someone to get you up in the morning, right?
Yeah, dude, I'm in constant conflict. If it's not with the person, it's with myself. So I have to kind of be at war with something.
Okay. One last thing before I let you go. I'll let you go and do your thing over there. How did the whole hot sauce thing come about? Like, you're the official hot sauce of the UFC. How the hell did this happen?
It's been a long process. Been a few months of back and forth talking about doing it and trying to get some deal points right. And I have a great team, man, with the sauce. Heatonist out in Brooklyn, out in Williamsburg. Noah is an incredible businessman and he started a push cart, a hot sauce push cart, and he built it to like the biggest hot sauce distribution in America.
Wow.
From a push cart, just a hard worker and a good dude. He kind of spearheaded this whole deal with the UFC.
It's amazing. I see, like, I was in Toronto at a grocery store. I saw it there. Montreal, saw it there. It's everywhere. That place, Hedonist, I used to live right around the block, and I know you had a party on Sunday at the Brooklyn Brewery, which I used to live right next door to. It's amazing what this thing has become. And I tried the Creole Maple, a little Canadian love there. Incredible. It's the only hot sauce. Thanks. I send you pictures every time I love it. It's incredible. Yeah. It's really a great product.
Thanks, man. No, I'm proud of it. And like I tell people that too, like it's not a white label thing that I just slap my name on. We made these sauces exactly how I and the team wanted them, and same thing with this Creole Maple. We went through a few different batches, a few different test runs of different ingredients and until we nailed it down exactly what I wanted. And I'm proud of it.
Is there a website where people can go now to buy it?
Yeah, you can go to heatonist.com or international shipping is heartbeathotsauce.com.
All right. Dustin, you're the man. Thank you so much. Congrats. I wish I could give you a big hug. I wish I knew that you were coming to Staten Island. I would have gone. I have a school thing at my kid's school, middle school, introduction to middle school, crazy thing. I mean, figures, ducking me. First year that I miss out of the last 3 years, you show up. A little bit suspect if you ask me, but
it's going to be a good time, man. Yeah, I wish you would be there.
It's an amazing scene. It's for a great cause. Teddy Atlas Foundation, incredible. Theodore Atlas Foundation. It's an incredible thing. And by Dr. Theodore, excuse me, my apologies. Dr. Theodore Atlas. Are you here on Monday? You could stop by the studio.
No, I'm taking off Friday morning. I got to get back home, dude. I just got to Louisiana. You know, I'm trying to get into a rhythm with my daughter, get ready for Thanksgiving.
All right. Well, happy holidays to you and your family. Safe travels. And thank you for doing this. And congrats, man. So happy for you. Well done.
Thank you so much, man.
All right. There he is. The one and only Dustin Poirier. I mean, salt of the earth.